Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm just bringing you something new, and something that might continue a lot. I'm just basically going to go through a tutorial on how to code in Python. Now, I'm a software engineer, so I know a few programming languages really well. Python was my first language, so I thought, yeah, why not just spread this knowledge? Okay, so in this one, we're going to go over the basic prints, variables, and maybe go on to if, else statements if we have time. Right, anyway, let's just get started straight away. So, pretty much what print is if you want to have an output, because this is where your code goes in Python, and this is where the output is. This won't normally be open until you run a program, but you can run a blank program that will just straight up do that. You can also do basic coding in here, but it's not, I don't really like doing it. So, basic, if you want an output, you do print, round bracket, and then it gives you a little help thing, I guess. And then you do, what are they even called? Speech marks? And then the first program, everyone always makes hello world exclamation mark. I don't know why. And then closing brackets to say that's the end. So, you know, you have to have these at the start of something which is just words, so it knows this isn't actually code, it's just words. And you have to have them to close it, and closing bracket to close the print statement. You run it, hello world, there is your output. That is what the program does. So, another thing you can do is you could also put a variable inside the print statement, and a variable is just something that you assign something to, so say word. Word is now a variable. Word is equal to I like to code Python. I guess I do. I don't know. Which it's now equal to the words I like to code Python, and they're words because they're within the speech marks. Now you can actually also do single dash speech marks, so apostrophes. And that's just purely, you know, if you want to have an apostrophe in your word, you know, if I want an apostrophe there, all of a sudden, uh-oh, this isn't in, it isn't a word, it's now encoding, because that's the closing one for that. So, if I used double ones, then now that is still encoding. Sorry, not encoding, in words. So anyway, there, if I want to print the variable that I've just created, words, I would just do print words, no, word, single, whoops, and there we go, it printed hello world, it printed I like to code Python. Now just to show you what would happen if we had those there, it would error invalid syntax, it doesn't know what ytthon is encoding. And then again, if we wanted to do it like that, then we could have double quotation marks. And I just thought quickly, what I'm doing to run it quickly is normally click run module, and that will run the code. I just push F5 because it's just a lot quicker. Right, now variables can be other things than just words, you know, number, click the wrong button, equals 5, that's my favourite number. Print number. Run it, it printed 5, even though it's not the word 5, it's coding 5, which is a number 5, which in coding is called an integer. Yes, there are also floats and doubles and other things, but in this case it is just an integer. So what if we did word number? Also, variable names can have underscores, they cannot have dashes, because in coding that is minus. So what if we do the word version of number, which, by the way, these words are actually called strings, but we'll get into that later. Word underscore number. Okay, what happens here? Oh, it also just prints 5. So, it doesn't matter whether you do it as an integer / number or the word version, it prints the same thing either way. Right, well, that was nice and quick. So, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments and I'll help you out. But anyway, now let's get on to if statements. So, if statements are, well, they're pretty much what you think. If something that you put inside them is true, then it will run that, else it won't run it. If it's not true, it won't run it. But if you have an else statement, then it will run the else statement. So, like, we already know number equals 5, but let's reassign number to equal 3. If number is less than 2, then, so that little dot essentially means then, the column. Also note how it's automatically indented for me. The indentation is important because if you don't have the correct indentation, the coding won't work. It just has to be at the correct indentation. So, if number is less than 2, print number is less than 2. Oh, and of course, that is the less than symbol. So, you know, the alligator eats the bigger number. So, if number is less than 2, then print number is less than 2. Okay, let's see what it does. I'm going to get rid of these just because it's creating a lot of clutter. Okay, so let's run that again, and it didn't do anything. Okay, cool, that's what it was meant to do. So then, what do we want the code to run if the number is not less than 2? So then you do else, and you don't need to put in a thing for this because this is else, as in if nothing else above it is true, then it will run this. Print number is not less than 2. Okay, what does it run? Number is not less than 2. Okay, what if we change number to 1? Number is less than 2. What if we change it to 0? Number is still less than 2. 5. Number is not less than 2. Now, does it work for negatives? Negative 5, let's say. Number is less than 2. Yes, negatives do work in Python very well. But let's say we want to be even more specific. What if we want to find a number that is less than 2 but greater than negative 3? So then, you put in elif, which is short for else if, so this will only check the condition, because you also have to put a condition in here, number is greater than negative 3. So, what else if is a combination of else and if. So, if the number is less than 2, it will run this. Else, so if this is not true, then if the number is greater than 3, negative 3, it will run this. Print number is greater than negative 3. And then else, so if none of these are true, then it will run that. So number is not less than 2 and not greater than negative 3. Okay, so 5 should still run. Negative 5, sorry. Number is less than 2. Yes, it is. So then if we put in 5, number is greater than negative 3. So, I just thought, I don't think there's any way for the else if to run. The else to run, because a number is always either less than 2 or greater than negative 3. So, what if we do greater than 5? So then, if it's 5, number is not and greater than negative 3. I forgot to change that. Whoops. So number is not less than 2 and not greater than 5. So if we did 6, then it should be number is greater than negative 3, because of course I didn't change that either. Number is greater than 5. So that's the basics of if statements, you know, it gets more complicated when you start to use more complicated things than just, is this number less than this, is this number greater than this, or you could also do, let's add another elif statement. You could have an infinite number of elif statements, there is no limit to it. You can only have one if statement per block, and you can only have one else statement per block. If you add another if statement in here, so if I added if number is less than 3, then it will run this one, it will check that, and then it will check this one because it's not if this, so it's not an else, so it's not if this isn't true. It will still run this one, so print number is less than 3. So I'm going to get rid of that elif quickly, and whoops, why did I do it for 6? So if we do it for 1, it will print both it's less than 2 and it's less than 3, but then it won't run this one because this one was true, and it won't run this one because this one was true. So any else or elifs belong to the closest up if at the same indentation, and you can't have multiple else's for the same if. It will, like, if I just did else print, nope. it will never run. In fact, it will error. Invalid syntax. You put 2 else's for one if. So the else is if none of this is correct, but then what's that else for? Because it's else. What? It doesn't make any sense. So you can only have one else. But let's go on to a different type of thing here. So if you want to check if the number is equal to a specific number, then you don't just do equals, because equals, as you can see here, is for assigning a variable. So equals is in fact to check if a number is equal to that. So print number is equal to 4, and then run. Of course it's not equal to 4. If we change it to 4, then number is equal to 4, because the number is not less than 3, the number is not greater than 5, so then we check if it's equal to 4, oh it's equal to 4, print is equal to 4, and then don't need to worry about the else because we've already found this one here to be true. Okay, so that's, well, essentially most of the operators you can use in ifs. You can also use is greater than or equal to, is less than or equal to, which are self-explanatory. So if number was equal to 3 or less than 3, if number was greater than 5 or equal to 5, then it would work. And yeah, that's the basics for printing and if, elif, and else statements. Of course, they will get more complicated as other programming parts gets more complicated, but you know, we'll get into that when it happens. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!